Hello and welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. My name's Addie and today we are back with another speed build. Today we are oh God, we are building a, um, I don't know. It's sort of like a bed and breakfast sort of vibe, but not really a bed and breakfast. It's more of like a cafe with bedrooms. Um, I don't build this with the what's it called? The businesses and hobbies pack just because like in complete transparency, I feel like that pack is great. But I would much prefer if you could have like I don't know, just I don't know. Um I don't know. I feel like the pack is great, but not for this build. So I do build this where you could use it with for rent and you could use it for with businesses and hobbies, or you could just class it as a cafe and then like have your Sims sleep here, similar to today's prior to businesses and hobbies. So it's really up to you how you wanted to run this build. If you wanted to run it personally, I don't plan on running it, so I just have it placed down as a cafe because that's the most realistic for my gameplay, but again, it doesn't really matter. Um, it's all up to you. Like, I think this would be kind of a fun build to play in as well. But it's whatever. I'm honestly still kind of in like work mode, so this video is like 45 minutes. So you'll probably notice that if you can hear my cat screaming, I apologize on his behalf. He's announcing he has to use his litter box. Um, but you'll probably notice that my speech patterns will change a little bit. So for that, I'm not apologizing, but I am gonna point it out just in case. So, now we are kind of working on the outside. We aren't gonna be working on the inside for a bit here. And going back to sort of what I was talking about before, how you can use this with for rent, or you could use this with you could use this with for rent. You could use this with businesses and hobbies. Um, both of those are true. There is so I think there's four bedrooms. There's that your Sims could sleep in. If you like came to visit the lot, your Sims could sleep there. Um, there's an so this build is Pride themed. So each room has a different Pride color scheme. The outside is Pride color scheme. Very rainbow. This build is um but yeah, so we've got a lot of like yeah, we've got a lot of different colors going on. When you first walk in, it's the rainbow room. We've got a bunch of different pride flags. We've got the people of color pride flag. Um, so it's a pride flag that includes a black and brown stripe to include LGBT people of color. And then we have um, the Indigenous pride flag. We've got the Progress pride flag, the regular pride flag, all hanging up in that room. And then there is a room that will become sort of like a sunroom space, and that is um lesbian, and I don't know what the I don't know if there's like a word specifically for men who like other men. Like people say gay, but like some people use gay not, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so it's the MLM and the um lesbian pride flags in there. And then we also have in the sunroom, and then leading to the sunroom, we have a trans room. So there are a couple of different things. I realized as I was watching back the footage that I accidentally used the aromantic pride flag instead of the agender pride flag. Um, but uh, it's whatever. Um, you can switch it. It's not they've got the same color scheme, okay? The aromantic color scheme pride flag is black stripe, gray stripe, white stripe, green stripe. The agender pride flag is black stripe, gray stripe, white stripe, green stripe, white stripe, gray stripe, black stripe. So I didn't notice that, but you can change it. If you download this build, it does have a shit ton of packs. So for that, I apologize. It does not have the two packs that I've been going on about, actually. But yeah, it's kind of nice. I really like this build. It's actually inspired by a build that I had across the street. The build that I had across the street was also a rainbow cafe. It was also a cafe dedicated to queer youth. I imagined that the people in real life, obviously, right? In real life, the people who run this facility or run this, it's not really a facility, it's more of like a safe place, right? The people who run this space are, well, they're two dads and they have two kids, three kids. Sorry, they have three kids. So it's two dads and they have three kids. And in my head, these dads run sort of like a cafe for queer youth, but then also like if you need a place to stay, you can stay here, you know? So it's sort of like a safe place in case like obviously in the Sims, your Sims don't care if your teenager's gay or whatever, but in real life I was imagining that it would be sort of a safe space for like queer youth. Um and that you could sort of, I don't know, that you could like have teens stay here, you know? If you download this and you want to and you want to like have a sim run it right as like how I intended it to be run, of like the gay dads and their little thing going on, right? I would have the business activities as drink coffee or drink like bar drink coffee. I would have them as yeah, drink coffee, drink tea, like that sort of thing. I forget the exact name of it. Um I don't know if like talk is one of them. Um And then there are a few like skill building items in this place. We have a I know we have I know we have a piano, I know we have an easel. I know we have obviously the bar, but it's not really like a mixology bar. It's just like a cafe bar. And then we have like obviously mirrors in the bathrooms and that sort of thing. Um, but we have a bunch of um what are they called? We've got a bunch of skills, right? And then we also have skills in the apartment next door. Um, I you could also set the you could also set the one of the things to be like sleep. Then people would go upstairs and nap. That you could have them um yeah, so there's quite a few things. This is mostly just a place to like come and socialize, right? For target audience, I would put kids and teens just because the primary that's like the primary target of this establishment is kids and teens. Um, so yeah, so those are the ones that I would pick. Right now I'm sort of trying to figure out the color scheme for each of the rooms because we it's a little bit a lot. So I was trying to make it like cohesive and stuff. And then also like include everything that I wanted to include. And it was, yeah, it was a lot of figuring it out. And I cut out a bunch of stuff because not like too much, because it's still like 50 minutes of just me like doing random shit. But when I first started editing the video, it was an hour and a half. So I did cut out a lot, but it was mostly like loading in and out of the like loading in and out of the lot, loading like into the game and cutting out the bathrooms because I did all the bathrooms and um so it was just like a lot of like I've taken to calling things that are necessary but not enjoyable admin things. um So, for example, I work in healthcare. If you're new, my primary job is working in healthcare. And when my patients and when I ask people like, what plans do you have after this? And they're like, oh, you know, like work errands, doing laundry. I'm like, oh, okay, so like a life admin day. And they sort of look at me like that had never occurred to them to call it a life admin day. But it is. It's a life admin day um when you have like a shit ton of appointments and like a shit ton of chores and you have to walk the dog and do the laundry and do whatever the fuck else, right? That's a life admin day. So, yeah, I've started to calling things that are not necessary or that are not fun but are definitely needed. Um as life admin days. So, yeah, just cutting out all the admin shit. Things that are pretty much just me like copying and pasting. The bathrooms are pretty much copied and pasted just so that I can move things along. I did have fun in the bathrooms though. You might have caught a glimpse of it. The mirrors, sorry, that was really hard. The mirrors in the bathrooms are that sort of ugly cloud mirror that we have in the base game now. I don't remember when we got it, but we got it a little while ago. A little while being like probably like a few years at the minimum. Um, and it's got two swatches. We've got the heart eyes and the crying eyes. So I decided to do the heart eyes because like this is supposed to be a fun place. Um, this is not supposed to be a sad place. So right now, you'll notice that I am going through and putting in a bunch of pride flags in the room with like that's like the sexuality pride flags. They did add a couple of them. Yeah, so this is when I fucked up and did the a romantic pride flag instead of the a gender pride flag. It's fine. Again, like you could totally switch it out if it bothers you enough. But yeah, so in the sunroom, I have like a bunch of the sexuality pride flags, and it was a lot to say the least. So what I did was I actually switched that out and got just the lesbian and MLM pride flags in there, and then we sort of like um had it was kind of a pretty color scheme. It was like orange and pink and um like orange, pink, green, and blue, which is obviously the color scheme of those two pride flags. But I really loved it. I felt like it worked together really well, especially the orange and green. I never do orange and green. I think they're kind of, honestly, kind of ugly together. But in this scenario, I felt like they worked really well. And I did get some fairy lights on the windows because I thought they were so pretty. Um, and this is when I got rid of all of the pride stuff for the other ones. I found these butterflies. I really, really wanted to use the pride flag from the um with the like little fairy lights hanging over it and the LED lights and stuff because the butterflies matched perfectly. Like these butterflies came in all of the right colors for all of these, so I wanted to use them. And then I got some other cute like little DIY art, wall art, because I don't know, I felt like it was appropriate. And then we went through and I put in some more like color, like more, I don't know, just art around the place. We do have a really big tree in here. And this is when so I actually had like the whole room decorated basically, and then I decided I didn't like it. So I went through all of the shit in the game and we got some new furniture. I got a rocking chair. I think it changes colors. We have a couple of chairs, they change colors. We get a giant fucking lamp. There are no ceiling lights in this room. I wanted it to be very like calming, very dark, very calming. Um, and you'll see that I'm like trying out a few things. And then I decide on this rug, and I think this rug worked really, really well. The only problem was that it felt a little bit too much pink and gold, or like pink and orange. So now I'm like trying to balance it out with like a bunch of other things, a bunch of other like blue flowers and switching out colors for the like on the ottomans and that sort of thing. These ottomans your Sims can sit on, but they also sort of look like a coffee table. So I wanted to include them because I felt like it worked. And then I'm getting a couple of pillows because why not? Pillows are comfy. I feel like a lot of queer people are also neurodivergent. Maybe that's just because that's the space that I exist in as a neurodivergent queer person. There's also one other thing that I wanted to talk about. not everyone in the LGBT community identifies with the word queer. Um, I am queer. That is something that I have um owned, that I have reclaimed as like part of my identity because I am queer. I'm weird and odd and like all of the things that everyone talked about when I was a child and like made fun of me for when I was a child sort of connects back to being either neurodivergent or LGBT. And so now as an adult, that's an identity that I hold very closely. But I wanted to address it because not every LGBT person identifies with queer. Some people feel more along the lines of like they might say like, oh, they're a little fruity, or they might say like they're just lesbian, or they're just bi, or they're just trans, or they're just, not every person who is part of the LGBT umbrella identifies with the word queer. And I want to address that because that's something that I find really important for me and my identity, but also I recognize that's not true for everyone else. Um, and one of my friends, she is one of those people that doesn't really identify with the word queer. Um, and like neither, and like my ex-girlfriend also never identified with the word queer, but I do very, very much. Um, just because like my whole life is weird and I am weird. And like my brain is weird. So I think that just like owning that is something that's really important to me. But again, I just wanted to address that because I know there are going to be some people, and I don't have a big channel, but which is weird because like if somebody was like, "Oh yeah, I only have 70 friends or I only have 60 friends." You'd be like, "That's a lot of people." But on the internet, that's not a lot of people. Um anyway, if I had like I don't really expect this video to like blow up or anything like that. Um it's just me building in The Sims. Like I don't I don't know that that's necessarily the most exciting thing. But this is something that I really, really love, and this is something that's really close to me. So I find it really important to talk about, and I really, really loved all of the Pride stuff that The Sims added. I use every single one of them multiple times. In this build, you'll see, we're working on the bedrooms right now. I just sort of like talked over everything. Um, but you'll see that we are working on the bedrooms, and I just finished the asexual room. I was gonna include the aromantic flag in there as well, but I decided not to because I I don't know, it just didn't feel right for the space. Um, like plants are green, but I didn't want to have to go through and add like a bunch more green things, right? Green accents. And also I felt like it didn't fit the space. Just plainly, I didn't feel like it fit the space. So now we're working on the bisexual room, and this room is my second favorite next to the asexual room. Um, so we've got a lot of bright colors. The bisexual flag is very, very vibrant, and so there's a lot of stuff. Um, and I'm going to address, because we can see it best in right now, the purple and yellow room is the intersex room. And the progress flag, there's a progress flag in The Sims now with the intersex triangle. And then also there is one without the triangle. I'm not really sure why they chose to do that, but to each their own. Um, and then we have, so that room is very purple, very yellow. I felt like it flowed really well from the upstairs because, or from the downstairs, sorry, because I felt like the downstairs didn't really have a lot of like intersex stuff. And so giving it the intersex flag like a landing, like a whole ass room, felt like it was justifiable. Um, I don't know if I included any games tables. I probably should have. And maybe I looked at it and I just forgot that I did that, but I felt like it didn't, none of the ones that I wanted to use really fit. So I don't think that I ended up using it. I know that I considered it for a minute, but I don't know if I actually placed anything up here just because I probably forgot, to be completely frank. So right now we are working on the pansexual room. And pansexuality is slightly different from bisexuality. Um, Bisexuality obviously is um, you should default to that person, but as a general definition, the difference between bisexuality and pansexuality is that bisexuality is a little bit more focused on, obviously, like you have to find somebody who's a good fit emotionally, mentally, on the fundamentals, but also it is more based on like gender, sex, and presentation, whereas pansexuality is more along the lines of um more along the lines of like what is what sort of qualities do you like in a person, right? So it's more based on their personality, their hobbies, skills, interests, that sort of thing. Um, so that's sort of the difference. Obviously, somebody who's bi could have a preference for men over women or non-binary people over women or whatever the case might be for that person. I, as a bi person, um, am not attracted to non-binary people. I discovered um, I am only attracted to men and women. It is very much bi that I am. Um, but that's not true for everyone, right? Some people are not attracted to men, they're attracted to non binary people and women. Or in the case of a pansexual, you can have a preference. If you're pansexual, you might have a preference for people who are more femme or people who are more masc, or you might have a preference of women over men or whatever the case might be for you, right? Um, so I'm not too I'm trying to like give the caveat of like discuss it with the person who you are speaking with. Because frankly, the LGBT community is so vast and so full of gray area that it's um not really easy to say like, oh, well, you're bi, so this must be the box that you fit in. Because that's not how that works. So, yeah, we are, wow, I've been yapping for 30 minutes. Okay. So we finished the trans room. The trans room was our skill building room. It was the room that had a woodworking table, an easel. The pansexual room had the piano. There's a computer on this lot in the public space. So Sims will be hogging that all the fucking time. I also included a couple of art pieces that we had previously. So there's this pride piece. These were all done in collaboration with real artists. So I encourage you to like search through the depths of the internet if you seek to figure out who did it because I don't remember. I will try to remember to link it in the description, but I have the memory of a fucking squirrel, so don't rely on that. You want something, you got to figure it out yourself. Anyway, so we have a lot of skill building items in the actual like public space. We don't have a games table, we don't have a chess table, and but we have a mirror. We have all the ones that I listed previously. We also have like a bunch of um not computers. We have a bunch of bookshelves. We have a bunch of um others other things as well. And now is my struggle of trying to figure out how the fuck I want to lay out the apartment because I was like trying to do it and um my babies are staring out the window like their life depends on it. There's probably somebody walking their dog. But yeah, so I was trying to figure out like how do I lay this out? Because I could have another room, but like how do I want to do that? Do I want this room to be long and skinny? It was just a lot. It was just a lot. And also the downstairs is so small. Like I was like, oh yeah, that'll be plenty of space, right? No. No. But I left in my struggles with that because I was like, you know what? Somebody is gonna find this helpful, and I possibly somebody might find this helpful. And so I wanted to include all of my struggles. I really wanted the dining table in the kitchen because I thought it was cute. Um, and then I really wanted the couch facing the TV because that makes sense. Oh, maybe I didn't include my struggles. Um, I cut down the video a couple of days ago and now I'm doing the voiceover because I'm late. I meant to do that yesterday, as in Wednesday before you're seeing this. And I didn't because I was tired. I had a really long day. Um, I got a my intake appointment for therapy done, which is really cool. Um, I don't really want to go into that too much detail, so please don't ask. Nobody ever asks me anything, but I especially don't want to be asked about that. Anyway, so we are finishing up the outside right now, and I loved having the little tables upstairs off of the balcony of the Bi and Ace rooms because they're the Bi and Ace colors. So there it's blue. I think it's blue, pink, and purple. And I really loved that. I felt like it was so cute because um it's it's the Bi flag. It's the Bi flag. So we did that and you might notice I talk in plural, sort of like God in Genesis. But that's just because like me and my brain, we are one vessel, but we are two very different beings. And I have conversations with my brain a lot. My brain will give me an idea and I'll like respond out loud. That's just me. I don't think that's normal, but um whenever I talked about it, like with my psychologist or anything else, I they didn't seem concerned. So I'm not gonna be concerned. Um, but yeah, so that's sort of like why I do that. So right now we're just sort of finishing up the outside. I am putting in some benches. I'm putting in a dumpster in case you want a place to woohoo. I also put in public restroom outside in case, for whatever reason, all of the bathrooms have like 15 Sims in them. This way your Sim can pee in privacy, um, regardless of the current population of the lot. So that's really helpful, in my personal experience. So I included that here. Right now we are finally moving on to furnishing the bedroom. We have got about 10 minutes left of the speed build here. And like I said, this build is run by two dads and their three kids. So this build, the apartment side is very like MLM flag heavy. Um, and the wallpaper in the primary bedroom, chaotic. I wanted something with a little bit of texture, but I didn't want anything with too much texture, and I didn't want it plain. So it was like I really didn't know like what to do about that. So that was a little bit, I think I cut out some of it because I swear I switched like 15 times before I formally settled on anything. Um, and I do feel like it's a little bit, this wallpaper is from the Crystals pack, and I do feel like it's a little bit feminine, but that's fine. Nobody, everybody exists on a spectrum of masc to femme, and just because the color scheme is the MLM flag does not require everything to be completely dude bro masculine. You know what I mean? So, um, we yeah, so we changed it to this little moon one. I think it's really cute. The This rug. So we got this rug in an update a little while ago, and it is so nice to be able to put tile underneath the what do you call it? Underneath the fireplace without having to, I don't know what the word is. Like put different floor down, if that makes sense. Um, if you hear barking, it's just my dog. Her name is Zilla. She's beautiful, and she also does not appreciate when people roll things down the breezeway. So, um, that's her, if you hear anything. And then we are finally getting to the um entrance. I finally moved the table. There's only three chairs, but I figured that was fine because like they've got three kids. The parents can sit on the couch. You know, it's fine. It's fine. I did give them the money trash can as well. And then we have a little entry table. I put some like books and stuff on there. I am a kind of person, I put tissues everywhere. Like literally everywhere. I've got one on my desk, I've got one behind me, I've got one on the bookshelf, one 3 feet away on the bathroom counter, two in the kitchen. I have tissues everywhere because like I have found that it is so helpful. And like at work, I have tissues on my desk, and they're like my personal ones. I'm not about to be getting your nasty ass little dry, hard, crusty tissues from the box, right? Not that they're hard or crusty or anything, but it's just sometimes it's nice to blow your nose with a softer thing of tissues, right? So I have my own personal box of tissues on my desk. The amount of people that use said box of tissues, overwhelming. So many people use this box of tissues. I swear it's like, I mean, I say so many. It's been like, it's mostly just like me, people talking to me, and then on occasion, the people in the other cubbies next to me. But yeah, it's like very nice, very handy. I want to get a bunch of hand sanitizer as well because that's also like when you blow your nose, you want to wash your hands, right? But that's not always an option. Hand sanitizer. She's your friend. Um, so yeah, I'm also pre-recording right now because I'm going to the Caribbean. Um, in the next couple of weeks. So not that anyone's gonna like track me down and like hunt me, but I'm trying to be a little bit careful about like exact dates and stuff. Um, because the internet is weird and somebody might, right? And I don't want to risk that. But in the next couple of weeks, I'm pre-recording. So, which I typically do anyway, to be completely honest. Like usually I like bulk record a few speed builds and a few videos for the month and then just let it run. But you will probably hear me talk about that in a couple of weeks, after I get back from the Caribbean. It's going to be a cruise, super fun. My aunt, actually, I guess she could be my aunt. My aunt is getting married on a cruise in the Caribbean. Um, and I loved her itinerary, because she spelled it out for everyone. Um, but the itinerary um for like the actual like day of the wedding, to be determined. Everything was to be determined about the ceremony. And that was like a couple of weeks ago. And I'm like, honestly, that is so fun. You know, my other aunt, she's also getting married, but not until October. So that's not going to be as big of a problem. I'm not like, she's just getting married like in a place like 2 hours away from me. So, which sounds like a lot. If you're listening in Europe, that sounds like a long time. Um, but it's like on the south side of my state. I live on the very north side. So it's like, well, I guess it's more like central, central state, central southern state. Anyway, regardless. Um, so she's kind of getting married, but she's getting married in October, and yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like I don't know anything, and obviously it's like still like 6 months away or 5 months away, but I don't know, man. I just don't. I don't know. I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna be dressed like a librarian. It's gonna be fine. I already dress really fancy. I don't think I'm gonna need to dress up too much. Um, but I like, yeah. So, anyway, I talked over the genderqueer bedroom. The genderqueer bedroom is a teen's bedroom. I sort of imagined the sim was like a kind of a painter, loved hanging out with friends, but not necessarily an extrovert, maybe just like outgoing. And then right now we are working on the non-binary bedroom, sort of under the same umbrella, but a little bit different, a little bit different. Um, so we have the non-binary one, and that is gonna be um oh, I'm just over here. Oh, I was switching it to a cafe. That's what was going on. Yeah, so I'm finishing up this room, finishing up. There's like nothing in it right now, but finishing it up. And it's actually kind of cute. I don't really remember too much about this room. This one was for like a preteen. So I did imagine that this sim was probably like 11 or 12 probably. So I didn't give them a computer, but I did give them a tablet. And then I gave them all alarm clocks because I thought that was really cute. And then this sim also has some starlights and a little nightlight. And I don't know, it's just kind of cute. I imagined this sim was kind of crafty, so they've got like knitting supplies and stuff. We also have like the candle making station, and just like other stuff. I gave them the rainbow because I had to, rainbow soccer ball, and just I don't know. I really liked this room. I felt like it was cute, but not in like a cutesy child way, more just like lived in. And then we've got some photos. There's a bunch of photo places around. And I think that's pretty much everything that's in this room. I think I give them a calendar and also a rocking chair. And then I think we're done. Um, but yeah, I really enjoyed this room. I don't feel like it's too chaotic. It's definitely just more lived in. It feels like a teen's room, you know? Um, and then obviously umbrellas, those are necessary. And then we'll be moving into the last room. And I gave them a pride flag. To be completely transparent, I have no idea what pride flag that is. If anyone knows, if you made it this far in the video, I do greatly appreciate it. But if you know what this pride flag is, that would be super helpful if you would leave that in the comments for me because I don't remember. But I imagine this sim was probably like a child, like a younger child, maybe like not like a young child, like 5, but like younger than their preteen siblings. So maybe like 8 or 9, you know? So they're a little bit younger, they're a little bit more vibrant, if you will. The color scheme in this room is chaotic. So we've got the pansexual bed, not because they're pansexual, they're 9. I don't know that they would know a difference. Some people know their sexuality at a young age, some people don't. That's okay. I don't think this kid really knows. They probably wanted this pride flag because it looked cool, to be completely honest. Um, and their parents were like, "Sure, whatever. It's a pride flag, whatever." This room is also like cram packed full of like kids stuff. And then I saw this rug. This is a horrible rug. I hate this rug. It is ugly. I think it's too much. It hurts my eyeballs, but it fits the room perfectly. Like the shade of green on those little polka dots matches the green on the dresser and the pride flag. And then also there's the little yellow dots for the on the bedspread. It's blue, it's pink. It just fits so perfect. I hate it. This is my least favorite room in the entire build. But it worked. Somehow, by the grace of God, it worked. So, we left it. Because what else are you supposed to do? And then they do have the Progress Pride flag above their station, their chemistry station. I do still call it a chemistry station because that's what it was called in The Sims 3. So yeah. We're putting up some wall decor, sort of finishing up this room. We are coming. I imagine this sim also really loved void critters, in case that wasn't clear. Um, but yeah, so we are coming to the end of the video now. So if you liked this, if you would like and subscribe, that would really mean a lot, and I will see all of you next time. Bye now.